Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, so I don't think many people are going to join today because exams are going on. But so yesterday's session you started week 7, right? And some of the practice questions were done.
Yes, sir did two or three questions he discussed, and rest he asked us to work out, and then he said that he would discuss them.
Okay, but I can discuss the rest of the practice assignment today, and the
And
activity questions will be left. So that will be discussed in that Monday session.
okay, sure.
Okay, so which questions were done? Can you tell me? Is
Yes,
my
sure.
screen visible?
Yes. So, can you please come down a bit? So, probably question number two.
Yeah, this was done.
Yeah, this was done.
2 and 3 are from the same question, so both were done.
Yeah, both were done. Yeah.
Okay. And any other question?
Yeah, I think the question number 9 was done.
9. Okay, how many are there? 10 questions there, I think. This one was done.
Yes, ma'am, this one was done. Yeah, the vowel one.
Okay, so we'll do the rest of the 7 questions and then for week 7 activity, Monday session, we'll complete it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so dictionary, right? Week 7 is about dictionaries mainly. So just a little brief first. So dictionary has what type of a structure? How do we represent an empty dictionary?
It's by two curly braces.
So two curly braces. Wait, 1 second. Okay. So empty dictionary will be just normal two curly braces. Now inside a dictionary, every element is of this structure, right? Key value pairs.
Yes.
So what do we know about the keys? What is the constraint? All keys have to be unique,
Yeah.
right? No duplicates are allowed in keys, but in case of values, values can be non-unique also. So duplicate values are allowed. Then key values. So is there any like rule that it has to be a list or it has to be a single element? There is no such rule. Okay. So value can be a list also. It can be another dictionary also. So there is a concept of nested dictionaries where there is a dictionary within a dictionary. So I can have an outer dictionary and against its key, let's say key 1. The value is also another dictionary which again contains key value pairs. Right. So this is nested dictionary. In that case, so to let's say if I want to find the value stored against a particular key, so what do I have to write?
We'll write key one or
Right.
key two,
So
say
if the dictionary name is, let's say, D, so D of key 1 will give me the
D. Okay.
value that is stored
So key
against key.
one at well, yeah, exactly.
Okay, now if I want to access, let's say there is some key K2 inside this and some value. So if I want to access this value that is stored against K2, then you just have to add this. Right. So first you will access key 1. Against that, you will enter this dictionary nested one, and inside that, you will again access key 2. Okay. So this is one thing. Then when I say keys of D, there is a function called keys. So when I write keys of D, what does this give me?
The items that are in D.
List of keys, right?
Yeah.
List of keys of the dictionary. So this is basically what dictionaries are. Keys have to be unique, values can be anything. And this key value pair relationship should be maintained, right? And there can be dictionaries inside dictionaries. In that case, you just have to write two different indices after the dictionary name. So one for the outer dictionary key, one for the inner dictionary key. So that depends on whatever your requirement is. Okay.
I have a doubt in the above example. So can you just explain me what how can we call this K2? So what would be, so like if you can give me an example that would
See,
suffice. Yeah.
this particular this is a dictionary, right? This inside dictionary. So what
Right.
is the name of this dictionary? This entire dictionary can be accessed as D of key 1. Okay, because this dictionary is stored as the value of key 1 in
Right.
the outer dictionary. So the outer dictionary is called D. So when you say D of key 1, it fetches this inner dictionary. Now
Okay.
inside this, if I want to access more key values, then if we know the keys of this dictionary, then like if I know K2 is the key inside the inner dictionary, I can just write K2. So it's like this whole thing you can call as D1. This is a smaller dictionary. So this is D1 K2.
Okay. Okay. So can we say that the key 2, this key 2 becomes a value for this D, and key 1 becomes a key for this D?
Yeah, key 1 is the key, and this entire inner dictionary is a value.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
inside the inner dictionary also there are key value pairs.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so let's start solving some of the questions. So first question is saying the following pseudocode is executed using scores dataset. What will B represent at the end of execution? Right. So scores dataset means we all know that it's that student dataset with all the information, student name, sequence number, birth date, city, all the marks, everything, right? So first, initially, we will initialize an empty dictionary D. Okay. Now, while table 1 has more rows, so we'll go through the entire scores dataset. What are we checking for each iteration? If the card that I picked, X card, if the town city in that card is a key of the dictionary D that we initialized. So initially D is empty, so obviously it doesn't have any keys. So as I go on, I pick up the first card, maybe the student's, let's say first card, call it X1. Maybe the city town for that student is Kolkata, right? In that case, currently Kolkata is not a key for D. So we will create a key. Okay. But before that, one more thing we are checking, that if the physics marks of this person is greater than whatever was stored in X dot town city before. So initially, since X dot town city didn't even exist, right? So we won't go into this inner if. We will go to the else part because this condition is false for the first iteration since D is empty. So it doesn't have any key. So you come to the else part and you create the key. So this is the X1 card I picked. For that, the key will be D of Kolkata and the marks of this student in physics. So let's say in physics he scored 80. So now dictionary D has a key like this. So Kolkata, against that it has 80 stored. Fine. After this, so this inner if ends here and the outer if ends here, else ends here. After a card is read and all of this is done, it is moved to table 2. So this bracket is the closing bracket of this while loop, right? So we will do iterations for every single card in scores dataset. Now let's say I pick another card X2, where the city town is again Kolkata. But this person has scored 90 in physics. So first what will happen, you read the second card, then you check that is the town city already a key in D. So we already have one key for Kolkata. Keys have to be unique, right? So now we will go into the nested if. So if X dot physics marks, so what is your current card's physics marks? 90. Is it greater than what is stored as the value in D of Kolkata?
Yes.
So that is 80, right?
Yeah.
So this condition also satisfies. So what you will do is just update that value. So now this value will be updated from 80 to 90. So whenever we find a greater value in physics for a particular city, we will update it with that. So at the end of creation of this entire D dictionary for all the cities, right? So what is the dictionary representing? City as keys and the corresponding values are highest physics marks from those cities. Correct. Now where does B come from? So after this, A is a variable which is initialized to 0, B is an empty list. So now D dictionary is fully created. So now we are going through each of the keys in D. So keys of D will return what? A list of keys of the dictionary D. So what are the keys of dictionary D? City names. Okay. So for each city name, we will check if D of key, that is, let's say key is Kolkata in the first iteration. So D of Kolkata, we saw it was 90. Let's say this is the highest marks in physics scored in Kolkata. So 90 is equal to A. Initially A is 0. So obviously this condition is false. So you won't do anything. Come to the next if D of key is greater than A. So in this case, D of key is 90 and A is initially 0. Of course, this is correct. So A will be assigned to what now? 90.
94.
And B will be assigned to what? See, it is a list, okay, and B itself is a list. So this becomes a list of lists.
Yeah.
So this will be what? What is the key? Kolkata.
Yeah. So
So it will
Kolkata.
be like this. Now, next, let's say like this, we have to go through every city, right? So let's say next city is Delhi. Okay. Let's say next city is Delhi, that is next key is Delhi, and in Delhi, maybe 98 is the highest marks scored. Okay, in physics. So again, you check the first if condition. Is D of key equal to A? A is now 90, but 90 and 98 are not equal. So in that case, what you are doing? You just go to the next if. Here check, is 98 greater than A? Yes. So again, now A is now changed to what? 98. And B is what? B is assigned the key itself. Right. Wait, this is not append, right? It is just the key. This doesn't have to be a list of list. So
That will happen only if the first if executed.
yeah, this append has to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So append is not there, so it will just be Kolkata up till now. Now it will be changed to what?
Delhi.
Delhi. Now let's say next city I pick is Mumbai. And in Mumbai also the physics marks is 98 highest. So now in this if condition, D of key is 98, A is also 98. So both are equal. So now we have to append this. So this list will now look like what? B will be?
Delhi, comma Mumbai. Delhi and Delhi and Mumbai.
So Delhi will be inside a list.
Yeah.
And there will be one more list which is Mumbai. Okay. So like this, I can go for every city, right? So whenever I find, so what is basically B representing? So when will B be updated last? B will
So-
be updated last when we find such a city which has the highest marks scored in physics among all cities. Right. So once we find such a city, B will be updated. So B will be then reset to only that city. Okay. After that, let's say we found Chennai. Okay. Chennai has 100. So then B will be reset to what? Just Chennai. We are not appending, we are resetting it. So B is now just Chennai. After that, if I find some other cities who have also scored 100, so all of those cities should be appended to B. So at the end, B is,
Just one question. Like when Chennai is 100, so this first if doesn't get executed, right?
No.
So the next if gets executed and you append, you update A to 100 and B gets updated to only the list.
Because there is no append right here.
Yeah, right.
So that
right.
means B is just reassigned to this on singular key inside a list. So B now becomes just Chennai. But this thing I have a little doubt in. This is a list of lists or just a normal list? When we append like this inside a list, it is usually a list of lists, right?
Because I think because D of key itself is a list. So when we are appending B, so B
No,
becomes a list.
key is not a list, no? Key is just the city name, which is put inside square brackets. So that makes it a list. So if you append this to B, which is already a list, then it becomes a list of lists. Fine, let's check the options. But before that, let's understand when B will be updated next. So if I find such a city, Chennai, which has scored 100. Okay. So at this point, B gets updated to Chennai. After this, let's say I found one more city, maybe Punjab. So there also the physics marks is 100 maximum. So now the first if will be true. And Punjab also has to be appended to B. So after this point, like once I have found the maximum marks among all cities, so there might be more than one city that have scored the maximum marks in physics. Right, that is 100. So all of those city names should come in the B list. So B list will contain what? See, what are the yeah, so this will not be a list of lists. This should be just a single element. It is treating it just a single element. So after this, whenever we append it, if I find Punjab, so Punjab will satisfy this condition. That Punjab is 100, A is also 100. So at that point, you have to add Punjab to B. So B will look like this, Chennai, comma Punjab. So when will B list be updated after this? Every time we find a city that has scored 100, you cannot score more than 100. So every time we find a city where the maximum physics score is 100, only then that city's name will be now appended to B. So B contains what? First option is saying number of cities from which students have scored the highest physics marks. Is this correct?
Cities. Yes.
Is it number of cities?
Uh,
It is a list of cities.
yes. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yes.
second option also number of cities definitely no.
Okay. Okay.
Third option, let's see, let's list of cities from which students have scored highest physics marks. And last option is saying list of cities from which students have scored same marks in physics. But is it the same marks? This second if condition makes sure that we find the maximum. Right? Because every time B is updated when we find a higher mark. So this will only stop when you find the highest. Right? So after that, every time we find another city which has scored the highest marks, only then that city's name is included in B. So C option is correct. List of cities from which students have scored the highest physics marks. So let's check once. Yeah, C. Okay, so let's go over this one more time. Firstly, we form this D dictionary which contains a city is to. Cities are the keys, individual cities, and the values are the highest physics marks from those cities. Right. Now let's say the highest physics marks is 100. Now more than one cities could have scored it, right? Maybe someone from Kolkata scored 100, someone from Bombay also scored 100. So both of these cities now have a person who has scored the highest physics marks all over. So in the second part, what we are doing is we are keeping this A to store the current marks, current highest marks we are at, and B to store the city from which the highest marks has been calculated. But B gets updated every time we find a higher mark. So at one point, when you reach a city from which the highest point in dictionary D is highest score is 100. Now, there is no chance that there will be a higher score than 100, right? But there can be multiple cities who have scored 100. So B will contain the names of all those cities. Because next, only this if condition will be working once you reach the highest value. So this if will never work again because you cannot find a D of key value which is greater than 100. So after that, only the first if will work. And you have to just keep on appending the city names to this B list. So B list contains list of all cities that have scored the highest marks in physics. Clear? Any doubt from this question? Anyone?
Ma'am, if what happens, so if D of keys is less than A, say, in that case we exit all the loop, right?
Yeah,
So
in
we
that
don't.
case, you just go for the next iteration.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, because these two conditions, one of them have to satisfy, either equal or greater.
Thank you.
Okay, 2 and 3 are done, you said, so I'll go to 4. Okay. 4 is saying what? The following pseudocode is executed using words dataset. What will D represent at the end of execution? So again, D is a dictionary, right? Empty dictionary initially. So we are going to go through all the words dataset cards. So read the first card. Now a variable I is initialized to 1. So 1 is less than x letter count, less than equal to x letter count or not. That we have to check. So let's say the first word I picked. Okay. I'm just taking some random words. Let's say the first word is sun. So letter count is 3. I is initially 1. So when you go to this while loop, you check that I is less than equal to letter count or not. So 1 is less than equal to 3, fine. This is the first iteration of inner while. So what do? In A, you assign what? Ith letter of the word. So A contains what now?
S.
S. Then, if not, is key D of A. So is D and A. So what does this mean? That is A already a key of D or not?
Yeah, it's a key.
So
No, it's
D
not
was
a key.
initially empty,
No,
so it
it's
is
not a
not a
key.
key,
It's not a key. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
what is it asking? Not of is key. That means it is not a key, right? That's why its key will return false. Not of
Yeah.
false is true. So the entire thing will be true. So you will create the key D of A. That is, in this case, the key will be S, right? Because our first element is S. And against that, the value will be stored as 1. So this is the first entry in the dictionary.
Ma'am,
Else,
just a quick question. This is key function, this function actually stores the value of
no, is key function
key, right?
only checks. See, the arguments are in this order. You first give the dictionary and then you put the key that you are looking for. So A is the key I'm looking for in dictionary D. So is key will return true or false, whether A is a key of D or not.
Okay. So it checks whether this A is present in D or not.
Yeah, as a key.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So right now this is how the dictionary D looks like. But okay. Next, if we find such a word in which, let's say, well, let me change the word. Let's change it to soon. Okay. In that case, letter count becomes 4. This is better to understand. So right now here also the letter count has to be changed to 4. Okay. So S is the first word. Now next iteration, you go for the next word. So I becomes what? 2. Next iteration, I is 2. 2 is also less than equal to 4. Good. A is assigned the ith letter. So what is A now? O. Is O a key of D?
No.
No. So you create the key. So now D is updated to S1 and O1. Okay. Increment I. So I now becomes what? 3. 3 is also less than equal to 4. A is assigned another O, third letter. Now check, is O a key of D? Yes. So not of true becomes false. So this if statement won't work. Go to the else part. Else part is doing what? D of A is equal to D of A plus 1. So you just increment the value by 1. So what is this doing? Now the dictionary looks like this. So at the end, what will we have in the dictionary D? After I have gone through one card, right? If I have gone through this card, let's do all the iterations. Okay, one more iteration will be there. 4 less than equal to 4. So ith letter is now N. N is not a key, so you create a key for N. So now the dictionary looks like this: S1, O2, N1. Correct? After this, so I is incremented again to 5. Is 5 less than equal to 4? No. So you break out of this inner while loop. Again, go to the outer while loop, iteration number 2. So you pick up one more card. I is again reset to 1. Same thing will happen for that card also. Okay, but dictionary D is never reset. So what is dictionary D storing?
It's
The
storing.
frequency at
Yeah,
which every letter occurs
so the
in
number
the
of.
entire words data set.
Yeah.
Right. So
Ma'am,
let's see.
that eighth row, I'm not able to understand actually. What actually D of A means? What actually?
D of A means C. A is assigned what? Ith
So
letter of the word.
okay, here O is okay. Here first letter yes is there. So if checking, it is in the dictionary. Then true.
Initially, nothing is there in the dictionary, right? For the first
Okay.
iteration, S is the first letter.
Okay. First.
So
Okay.
if
Then false will
dictionary
come.
is
Yeah.
empty, yeah, it
Yeah.
will be false. But
Yeah.
not of false is true. So this
Okay.
if loop will work, if block.
Yeah.
In that case, you will create the key and value for this S. Okay, so D of A means what? What is A? S. Ith letter is S for the first iteration. So D of S will be 1. D of S means what? S is now a key of D. Okay, this is how you create keys. So you just write the key in box brackets and outside you write the dictionary name and then you can assign it the
So
value you want.
the one and all, it will be the counting, repetition states counting, right? So d of a equal to 1 means,
Yes, this else block will be counting how many times that particular letter is occurring throughout the entire data set.
okay. So in this case, that yes, O and all it will not create any duplicates. So only one single value only
No,
will be there,
only,
and
yes,
that
dictionary should never have
value
duplicate.
increment will be in the that another what is that key, right? So this one two and all
This is the
two
value, right? This
value
is the value.
values.
A is
Okay.
the key. A
No,
is
here
key
the
and D
syntax
of A.
in the curl syntax put no. So S is to 1, O is to 2. That
This is
I'm
the entire
asking.
dictionary.
Dictionary. The S will stand for the
Key,
key and 1 stands for the
value.
value. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so whenever we want to access a value, let's say I want to know what is the value stored against key S. So I will write D of S. This will give me the value.
Mm,
Okay, so D of key is the value.
okay.
So this entire thing, after I'm done with all the cards, so this dictionary D will be storing what? All unique letters from the data set, entire words data set, and how many times each letter has occurred.
Yes. Okay.
So which of the options do you think? Frequency count of each letter of the words data set. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It is correct, right?
Correct.
We are doing for every single letter in the entire data set because D dictionary is not being updated or reset to empty after one iteration. It will keep on adding to this same dictionary. So frequency count of each letter of the words data set. Answer is A. Okay. Any doubts in this question? Okay. Now let's do 5 and 6. The following pseudocode is executed using library dataset. What will D represent at the end of execution? So initially D is empty. Now while table 1 has more rows, read the first row. If is key D comma X author. Okay, so X card that I have picked, there is some author name in that, right? Some book names, sequence numbers, all these things, publication, year, these things are there. So first card that I've picked, whoever is the author, so I'm checking if that author is already a key of dictionary D or not. But for first iteration, when dictionary is empty, this will always return what? False. Because at this point, dictionary has no keys.
So it should be
Right.
false.
Yes, false.
So
Return false.
this will return false. Okay. Just for example, let's the first card I picked. The author is Arthur Conan Doyle. Okay. So now we will create a one more in nested if is there, that is checking what, that if the okay, this was false, so we will go to the else part. Currently I cannot explain this, we'll take some more cards and explain. So since AC Doyle is not a part of the dictionary, so we'll go to the else part and create the key for that. So now this is what D of the author name, so author name becomes key, and publication year, let's say it is 1922. So 1922 is the value. So now currently dictionary D has this entry. AC Doyle as the key and correspondingly value is publication year 1922. Okay. Now let's pick up the second card that is also written by the same author. Right. One author can write multiple books. Here the publication year is what? Let's say it is 1930. So first you will do what? Come to the first step. Is the same author, this author, is he a key of the dictionary D?
Yes. It's
So
will
he is a
depend.
key. So I'll go to the nested if. So what is D of author? I mean D of this particular author. What is the value stored against this
Ma'am,
author
are
current?
we discussing the question of the qualifier exam?
No, these are week 7 practice.
Okay, ma'am. Have you discussed qualifier exam answers like questions and
No,
all?
I haven't discussed.
Would be discussing it in the next class or today?
I was told to only discuss week 7 today. I'm not sure. If you have any doubts in that qualifier exam, you can give me the questions. I can solve it today. Okay.
Okay, maybe in the next class, ma'am. Actually, I'll also do it. Fully solve it and
Okay,
then
okay,
come.
sure, yeah. Then Monday class you can do it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So at this point, next nested if we are checking what is stored against the value of this key in the dictionary 1922.
Yeah.
And what is the year of the current card 1930.
So it's
So
written
is
false.
1922 greater than 1930? No. So nothing will happen here. Now say I pick one more card X3, again the same author. Okay, but the publication year is 1910. At this point, so it is a key. First if is fine. Second if, what is the value stored against it? 1922.
Yeah.
So is 1922 greater than 1910?
Yes, so it will
Yes.
return true. Go to the
So
next
this
page.
will be true. So we will enter this if block. And what am I doing? Updating the value in the dictionary. So now for acid oil, the value is updated to 1910. So like this, if I do for every single author, then what is dictionary D representing?
Storing
Right?
the it's storing all the authors. It's storing the name of authors who has written multiple books in the
It
same
is
year.
storing
No,
the
old year,
In the
right?
same
Old
year.
year.
it is storing the names of all authors. Okay. All distinct authors will be key. And the
Yeah.
values will be what? Their earliest publication.
Yes.
Right? Because we are always finding a lesser value of year and updating it with that. So
Yeah.
at the end, for every author, we will find the minimum year value. So that is the earliest publication.
Yes.
Correct? Let's see the options. So first is saying dictionary with authors as keys mapped to the year of publication of their latest book. Latest is wrong. Latest means greater year. So dictionary with authors as keys mapped to the year of publication of their first book. Is this correct?
Yes.
If it is correct, so if you the all data sets is verified, then it will be the first book.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
For every author, it is the first book because earliest publication means first book only. Right. First book is the first publication. So option B will be the answer. Yes. Okay, anyone, any doubt here? Question 6 is saying consider dictionary D created in previous question. So it is based on the same question only. So what will A represent at the end of execution? So you remember that dictionary D we just created. Now we have to check that what is A representing based on this code. So A is initially 0 for each K in keys of D. What are the keys of D?
The authors.
Author
author-
name
Author
and
names.
first publication.
No, that is value. The date
Okay.
is value.
Okay.
The key is just author name. So all the author names we have to go through in this for each block. So for each author name, what is happening? We are checking if D of K is greater than A. So D of K is what? The value, which is year of publication, earliest publication. Or the date in the year in which they published their first book. So we are checking if that year is greater than A or not. If it is greater, then you assign A to that year value. So every time we find a higher year value, A will be updated. So first
Yeah.
author, let's say AC Doyle published his first book in 1910. So 1910 greater than 0 because A is initially 0. So A will be updated to 1910. Now next key, let's say some other author is there. Okay.
Clear.
This will be the latest publication, right?
Clear, na?
Yes. Latest publication. Dictionary D stores the latest publication year of every author as values. Okay, now let's say I have one more author. Okay. So let's say Agatha Christie is one more author. So their latest publication or first publication was maybe 1920. So that's the next key. So for Agatha Christie, D of Agatha Christie, what will be the value? Earliest publication 1920. So is 1920 greater than 1910? Current value of A? Yes. So you again update A. So A will be updated as many times as we find a greater year value in the D dictionary. Right. So what is A representing?
The latest
You can
publication.
look at the options for this one first. So first option is saying publication year of the most recent book, which is also the first book of an author.
No.
Why no?
Yeah, it might not be the first book because the first book might have been
But-
published.
But it is the first book, that's why it's in dictionary D, right? In dictionary D, for every author, the value that is stored against that author's name is the date of publication of their first book.
But the first book might have been the earliest book, right?
Yeah, first book, earliest book, same thing.
Yeah, but that okay.
If author having only one book, then it will be correct.
No.
Yeah.
Why this option is correct? See, what are we saying? Publication year of the most recent book, which is also the first book of an author. So in this D dictionary, okay, let me just take a small example as D. Let's say author A has published their first book in 1910. Author B has published their first book in 1920. Author C has published their first book in 1930. Okay, this is D dictionary. Up to this, it's clear. Now we are going through each of the keys, that is authors, and we are checking what is their first book publication year. Every time we find a greater year, we replace that value with A. So first A will be 1910, then A will be again updated to 1920, A will be again updated to 1930. Right? If this is the D dictionary. So ultimately A value will be what? 1930, which is the largest year value in D dictionary. So this is what? This is the first publication for author C. But in the entire D dictionary, it is the most recent book. Is it clear? Which part you're getting confused, Tanu?
Madam, here the A, B, C are different author, right? So
Yes, all
why,
different authors.
but why you are comparing the C year in the A or B year in A?
Because I don't care about the authors, right? I am just taking the values. D of K I'm checking, just the values. It nowhere says that it
So
has to be
here,
the same author.
so okay, keys of D, it's a key other. In this other, you are only taking the values. So we here, which other it's not defined, right?
Yeah, because here in anyways all the keys are distinct. So every author is mentioned only once.
Mm.
Okay. So we are just checking that which is the latest year present in D dictionary. That will be the greatest also among all of them. If I have 2000, someone wrote their first book in 2000. So in this dictionary, 2000 is the highest value for year, right? And
Yes.
this greater than comparison will give this value only. So 2000 will be stored in A. So 2000 year is the first book publication of author D, but in the entire dictionary D, this is the most recent publication also.
Okay, so it need not be that the same author must have the same publication. Some must not have the same must not have the same recent publication. That might not be the case, right?
For every author, they have some date on which their first book published.
Yeah.
So that key value period is stored in D. Here
Yes.
we are finding what is the biggest year value, greatest year value that is stored in D. So I don't care about the authors here. I'm just comparing the years. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So the greatest year will also be someone's first book publication year. That's why they are in the dictionary D. So even though it is the first book publication date of an author, it is also the most recent book that is published among all authors in this D dictionary.
Yeah.
Right. I am not talking about, see, these authors have published other books also in later years. But we are just comparing for the first book publication year.
Mhm.
So this is the correct option. Publication year of the most recent book, which is also the first book of an author. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is not done, right? 7, 8.
No, this was not done.
So this is also based on scores dataset. So what will city D of K represent at the end of execution? Right. So city D is an empty dictionary. We have to find out what city D of K. That means some value for some key value K. What does it represent? So basically, we have to find out what are the values stored in CTD dictionary. Okay. So CTD is initially empty. Next, what we are checking, going through all the cards in sports data set. So you read one card. Okay. You check if is key CTD is the dictionary name. Town city is the town city of the first card that you picked. Let's say X1. X1 is from Delhi. So is Delhi a key of CTD?
No.
It is empty initially. So this if condition fails. So go to the else part.
Yeah.
Since it is, wait, this is the nested else. This is the actual else. Okay. So since it is not a key, so you create a key
Yeah.
for it.
Mhm.
Okay. And what is the assigned value? Another dictionary. So this is nested dictionary. So CTD dictionary at this point contains this. Delhi is a key. Against that, the value is an empty dictionary. Okay. Now, next line, see CTD X dot town city, X dot gender. So what is this X dot gender? This is a key of the nested dictionary. That is this. And X dot physics is the value stored against the nested dictionary key. So if this card is from, let's say, a female who has scored 95 in physics, then the dictionary will be updated to what? Delhi. This is the key of outer dictionary CTD. Against that, the value is another dictionary in which the key value pair is what? Gender is the key, that is female, and physics marks is the value, that is 95. Is this structure clear how it is updating?
Ma'am, can you explain this once more?
See, when I do this line, CTD, town city, so this is creating a key for dictionary CTD, where the key is the current town city, which is Delhi.
Right.
And we are assigning it the value an empty dictionary. So initially it looks like this. Okay. Now second line, I see that I am creating a key value pair for the inner dictionary also, that is this dictionary. Okay. So what is the key for that dictionary? X dot gender. And what value are we assigning? X dot physics.
Okay. So with every key which is Delhi, say city, which we are talking about, there is an associated value which is also a dictionary, right?
Yes.
And in that
So
dictionary, my key
in
would
that
be
dictionary, we are storing the keys as genders. Okay. So only two distinct keys can be there for the nested dictionary, male and female. Right? Because
okay.
keys have to be unique. So only two distinct gender in our data set. So only two distinct keys will be there in the inner dictionary. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Now let's say I go for the next card. Okay. Next card is from someone from Kolkata. Let's say he's a male, scored 70 in physics.
Mhm.
So when you go for the first if statement, is Kolkata a key of CTD?
No.
So again come to this else block. So what will this do? Now CTD is updated to, first it had Delhi,
Then-
against which the value was a nested dictionary which contained gender F as key and 95 as the physics units. Now there is one more key in the outer dictionary, Kolkata. And what is contained in its nested dictionary?
M and 70.
M is the key, 70 is the value. Okay. So this is how it's done. Now, let's say there is one more card that I pick, which is also from Delhi. So this is a male from Delhi who has scored 80. So now if you go to the first if condition, is Delhi a key in CTD?
Yes. It is.
Yes. So go to the nested if. Now what is it checking? Is the gender a key in the inner dictionary? That is CTD of Delhi. Does it contain the male gender as a
No.
key?
No.
No.
It doesn't.
So go to this nested else. So create a gender key for the inner dictionary and insert the marks as values. So this will now be updated to, this was just f dot f as key and 95 as value. Now there will be one more key m where the value will be 80. Clear? Now if I pick, let's say, another card which is again from Delhi, but this is a female, I'm sorry, this is a female who has scored 75. Again, go to the first step. Is Delhi a key? Yes. Is the gender a key of the Delhi dictionary, inner dictionary? Is female present in the inner dictionary of Delhi as a
Yes.
key?
Yes.
So go to the third nested if. Is the marks currently stored against that gender in Delhi less than the marks that is present in this card?
Yes.
What is the current mark stored? For
It's
female, 95.
yeah.
This person has scored 75.
Yeah.
So it is not less.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. So, that's
So we won't do anything.
Mhm.
Okay. Again, let's say I picked up one card. Again from Delhi. This is a male who has scored 90.
But ma'am, just one thing. So, like,
Hmm.
if this is not executed, since 75 is not less, it's not
Hmm,
greater
hmm.
than 95. So, aren't we supposed to come to the next nested else?
But this nested else, see, look at the brackets here. Huh? So this if closes here. And this outer if closes here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This else is the else of this second if.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that's why the braces, you just be careful.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take a fifth card, which is also from Delhi. It's a male who has scored 90. So first, if you check, Delhi is a key, fine. Is the gender present as a key of the inner dictionary male? Yes, Delhi has a male key. Now the third condition is what? What is the mark stored against that male gender in Delhi?
It's
80.
90. It's
80.
80.
Here.
Okay.
So is 80 less than whatever marks is present in your current card, which is 90? Yes.
Yes.
So now this inner if is also true. So now you come to this line, line 7. What update is being made? For CTD dictionary, where the outer key is Delhi, you go to the inner dictionary, where the inner key is, so here this is Delhi and this inner key is male. And you assign it the new greater value, that is 90. So now this value changes from 80 to 90. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So like this, if I go through all the cards, right? So definitely CTD, this whole dictionary, the outer keys will be what? Individual city names. Right? Like Delhi, Kolkata, Bombay. For every city, there will be a key. And against every key, there will be another nested dictionary inside which there are two distinct keys, one female, one male. But what are these keys storing as values? This female and male keys, what are they storing as values? Maximum physics marks
Yeah, the
Maximum
maximum
physics marks.
marks.
from that gender in that city. Right? Okay. So the question is CTDK. What does this represent? So CTDK means for any key of CTD, it can be just Kolkata. What does this represent? This represents what is the value against Kolkata? A dictionary. Where there is some marks given for female, some marks given for male, and these marks are highest physics marks in Kolkata for female and male genders in physics. Right?
Right.
So which of these options is correct? First is saying a dictionary with gender as key mapped to the physics marks. Yes, it is a dictionary with gender as key mapped to physics marks, but it is also the highest marks by that genders. That has to be mentioned. Second is saying a dictionary with gender as key mapped to the highest physics marks scored by that gender in city K. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
This is correct. Option C is saying lowest, which is wrong. Option D is saying it is just a dictionary with cities as keys mapped to physics marks. It's not. So option D is wrong. Correct. This question is clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this type of question, just be a little mindful about where the nested if and nested else are closing and opening brackets. Okay. I think there is a part question to this. Yeah. So this is the same dictionary D. Okay. So consider that dictionary that we created. Now, what will A and B represent at the end of execution? So keep that in mind, what that dictionary contains. So A and B are initially 0. For each I in keys of CTD, what are keys of CTD?
Those nested
No, keys.
dictionaries. Okay,
Male and female genders.
male and something.
No, that is the inner dictionary keys. The CTD dictionary, the outer dictionary. What are the keys of that dictionary?
Okay, so the city names, right?
City names. See, this is the dictionary, right? CTD. What are the outer keys? Delhi, Kolkata, the city names. Against each of the keys, there is a nested dictionary. Okay, so when I write keys of city D, it will give me the outer keys, list of outer keys. So for each I in keys of city D, that means we are going through all the city names. L is what? Keys of city DI. Okay, so what is city DI? If I is Kolkata, okay, then city DI will give me what?
The value which is the nested dictionary, right? The male or the female, the
Yes,
gender
the
with the
nested dictionary itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what am I asking? Keys of that nested dictionary. What are the keys of nested dictionary?
Gender.
the gender.
Male and female. Okay, so L will contain just that. If first of L is M, that is first of L means what? This is
The
a list of,
Yeah.
so the first element in the list. So if it is a male, then we'll check if city DI, first of L. So let's say I is Kolkata. So city D, Kolkata, first of L is male. If only this is true, then only we will come to this block. No? So first of L is male. Okay. Is greater than CTDI, again I is Kolkata. Last of L. So if first is M, then last is what?
Male.
L
Here,
contains
how
what?
we know that for first is male or second is female?
So
How
that's what you're checking, no? In the if condition, if the first is male.
then the other there is another option female only.
Yeah. Otherwise, you come to the else part. Okay. So definitely, if first is not L M, it has to be F. So that will be taken care of in the else part. But considering that for Kolkata, let's say the keys are like this, M comma F. So here first of L is male. For that, you are checking what is the marks scored by this male person from Kolkata. Right.
Yes.
So let's say this person has scored 95. Again, what is this expression? CTD of I, last of L. If first is M, then last has to be only F. Two keys are there.
Yeah.
So let's say the female person has scored 85.
Here
So is
is
95
comparing the within the keys. So female and
this is
male keys.
comparing for a particular city the female and male mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Same. The dictionary one key and sub key is comparing.
So it is comparing the male and female marks for a particular city. So if the male marks is greater, like in this case, then A will be incremented. But if first of L was not M, that means first of L was female, then you come to the else part, and here the first of L then becomes female. So this is female marks. If female marks is greater than male marks, then B will be incremented. So A and B basically represent what?
So
A
gender.
will represent
Male marks,
Gender.
B represent female marks.
Okay,
No,
first
not the
define the L is first define M, then it will be A will be male and B will be female.
The
check
males.
something.
Yeah.
Go on.
The first condition tells us the number of the males which have the highest marks from that city, and the second tells us the females which scored the highest in the same from the same
So
city.
basically, since we are looking for a particular subject, physics here, so either
Yeah.
the male has scored the highest or the female has scored the highest, right?
Yeah.
We are going on with that condition in mind. So I will change for, it will check for all the cities in dictionary. So A is getting incremented when for a particular city, the male has scored the higher marks than the female, right? Then A is incremented, and B is getting incremented when the female has scored the higher marks than the male in that city.
Right.
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 So A represents what? A represents number of cities in which the male gender has scored the highest marks in physics. B represents
Okay.
number of cities in which female has scored the highest marks.
Right. Right.
Correct. So let's check the option. First is
Mm.
saying number of cities from which male has scored highest physics marks than female. B is number of cities from which female has scored highest physics marks than male.
Mm.
Okay. What are the other options? Option B, A is saying number of males who have scored. So is it calculating number of males?
Let's,
It's
can we go back?
calculating the number of such cities.
Number. Okay.
Because for every city we are doing the comparison, right? City D of I.
Okay,
I
okay.
will keep changing in the for each block. We have nothing to do with number of males, number of females. So again, just by this logic, B and D can be eliminated. So C is saying what? Number of cities from which a female has scored highest marks in physics. No, A is storing when male has higher score. Right. So option A should be correct. Let's check the option once. Yeah, A is correct. Okay. If anyone has any doubt in this question, you can ask. Okay. So A gets incremented when the male has the higher marks in that particular city, and B gets incremented when female has the higher marks. Okay. This question is very important for quiz also. Okay. 9 is done.
9 was done.
So just 10 is left. This is a good question. Mhm.
Madam, can you explain 9? So because done means what? So you completed, huh?
You didn't understand. Come again.
So the 9, what you asked actually?
9 was completed, covered in last class's lecture. So I didn't cover it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
questions 2, 3, and 9, I think, were covered in last lecture.
By you, right?
No, Piyush sir did.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So 10th question, this is saying what? Following pseudocode is executed using sports data set again. So MPC, these three are the lists of the sequence numbers of students who have scored more than 80 marks in maths, physics, and chemistry. So respectively, MPC are three lists of such students. M for mathematics, P for physics, C for chemistry. So students must have scored higher than 80. At the end of execution, dictionary 80, this is the dictionary. It stores the dictionary with the sequence number of students mapped to the number of students in which, mapped, this is a little confusing. Right? Dictionary 80 stores a dictionary with the sequence number of student mapped to the number of subjects in which the student has scored more than 80. Fine. So it is possible that a student might have scored more than 80 in one subject or two subjects or all three subjects.
Ma'am,
Like-
may I ask one question here? So,
Mhm.
when it says that the sequence number of student being mapped to the number of subjects, so the key becomes the sequence number of the student and the value becomes the number of subjects, right?
All the subjects, yeah. So we'll just put the subject names in a list or something as the value.
Okay. Okay. And ma'am, another thing is that when we say this MPC, the list of the sequence numbers of the students, so this is just a list of the sequence numbers. Like say, for instance, we pick up a student with card number 2 or sequence number, that sequence ID 2. So we just are putting those numbers in the list where scored that 80 more than 80 marks, right?
So if that student with sequence number 2 has scored 85 in maths, then he will be in the M list. That sequence number 2 will be in the M list.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
but this person might have scored greater than 80 in physics and chemistry also. So there are intersections between the lists. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it is saying choose the correct implementation of the N sub procedure. So basically our job is to create this dictionary 80 such that it maps every student sequence number to the subjects in which he has scored greater than 80. Okay. So initially dictionary 80 is empty. We will go through all the rows in sports data set, read every row, and in dictionary 80, we are creating a key for that sequence number. And as the value, we are calling the function n sub with that sequence number. So we have to check out which is the correct implementation of the n sub function. So first option, let's see. If the sequence number, okay, for the first card that I picked, let's say x1 card, the sequence number is 1. So for n sub, the argument is now 1. Okay. So initially count is set to 0. Now we are checking. For list, we can do this, right? We can put the list name and the item that we're looking for inside parentheses and call the member function. So this function will check whether the n is a member of list m. Okay, if it is true, then it will return true. If not, it will return false. So let's create some just for understanding. Okay, these are just some arbitrary lists. Let's put the sequence number, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is present in M.
Just like this, is key function is there for this dictionary. So member is a function to call the same
Yeah,
number
correct. That
for
is
this.
member only works
list.
for list. Okay. Okay, let's say these are the lists. Fine. So for sequence number 1, we are checking. So is 1 present in M? Yes. So count is incremented by 1. If, again check, is 1 present in P list? Or N is 1 right now, right? We are checking for sequence number 1. Is it present in P? Yes.
Yes.
Again increment count by 1. Is it present in C also? Yes. Again increment count. So at the end, what is the count value? 3. So it is saying return count. Where will this be returned? Here. So it will be the value of the key for that sequence number in dictionary 80. Okay. So is this what we want? Dictionary 80 stores a dictionary with sequence number of student mapped to what? Number of subjects in which he has scored more than 80 marks. So is this procedure correct? This count value will be returned and will be stored as the value against this sequence number in dictionary 80. So that means sequence number 1 has taken 3 subjects in which he has scored 80, greater than 80.
Yes, it's true.
So this looks like a correct function only.
Yeah.
But is it an MSQ? Yeah, it's an MSQ. So A is correct. Other options also you have to check. Let's check this one for the same card. Let's say take 1. Count is 0. We are checking whether N is a member of M. If it is, increment count. So in this case, in our list, we saw that M is in all 3 lists. So it will be incremented 3 times. Next, in this line, it is saying if count is greater than equal to 3. So in this case, count is 3. I'm sorry, greater than equal to 2. So 3 greater than equal to 2 is correct.
Yes.
Then it is saying return true. Otherwise, return false. But do we want true false values? We want to know the number of subjects to which he should be mapped. Right. The value should be the number of subjects in which the student has scored greater than 80. Not true or false, right?
Yeah. We want all the number of subjects in which he scores this.
Yeah.
More than
So that means that count should be returned, not the Boolean values.
yeah. Okay.
So this is wrong. Third option is doing what? N sub is a dictionary here. Okay. So, wait. There is no procedure definition given. Okay, it is, I guess, just written the code. So N sub is a dictionary where table 1 has more rows. Okay, let's see the code again. N sub sequence number. Okay. So it is creating a dictionary, this one. Okay. So read the first row. Table 1 has more rows. Read the first row. So what is the first row? Let's say that single card with sequence number 1. Count is 0. Again, check for all the memberships. So membership will be increased here, here, here. Count value will be 3. Again, it is saying that if 3 is greater than equal to 2, then N sub dictionary that we created, this for sequence number 1 as key, the value will be true. Okay. So only the value will be true when the person has scored greater than 80 in 2 or more subjects, because this is the condition. But is this what we want?
No, we want to all the three subjects, right?
We want to know that this one sequence number 1% should be mapped to the number 3 because he has scored greater than 80 in 3 subjects. So this
Yes.
is wrong. Let's check this. So here also dictionary is being created. Okay, n sub. So read the first row again, sequence number 1, let's say count 0. Count will be incremented in all 3 places for this sequence number. 1 second. Yeah. So at the end of the third if, sequence count becomes 3. It is saying n sub x number, x dot sequence number, that is for 1, sequence number 1, count is 3. Is this correct?
Yes, this is correct. Because this is what we
So,
want.
yeah. So when we call this n sub procedure and we put the sequence number, it will give me the respective count, right, for n sub dictionary. But here is the thing that, look at this. Is this calling a dictionary?
Uh,
This is a procedure call, right? It is a function call. This n sub should be a function. It's not a dictionary.
Oh.
Dictionary 80 is the dictionary. That's why I thought that those last 2 options, none of them should be true because there is no procedure definition. You are calling a procedure n sub, right? It is not a dictionary. If it was a dictionary, then after n sub, you will write like this, x dot sequence number in third brackets, right? But this is in parenthesis. That means it's an argument for n sub function.
it's just a parameter that it is calling, not the.
Yeah, not the dictionary.
No, not the dictionary. Okay.
That's why only the first option is correct, even if it is an MSQ.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
This type of questions can also come. This is just to make confuse you. Okay. Yeah. So this is clear for everyone? Why the other options are wrong? So these are all the practice questions. Only your activity is left from week 7, I think. Yeah. So I think in Monday class, yeah, ma'am will take it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.